think we're going live here in a little bit. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. Like, I think they're doing maintenance in the apartment next to me, and I was hoping to there's like a drill, right? So if you guys can hear it, let me know. But I'm trying to like noise cancel it out of my mic, but who knows if that will work. So, um, if you can see me, be great. If you can type into the comments, if you can hear me, that'd be great too. If you can type that way. I appreciate you guys viewing if you guys are viewing. Yeah, I can't see who specifically is viewing, so if you want to chat with me, feel free to type in the comments. But other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So sorry, there's like a glare. But I'm Johanna Renee, and this is my live. I usually come on here every once in a while to show you guys kind of what I'm working on in my art world. So today I'm going to be working on these graphite drawings that I've been doing. I made like another little study that I really enjoyed how it turned out in my sketchbook. And so I'm planning on scaling it up again too for like a larger drawing. And I really like doing that because you get to see the textures a little bit better. So like in my sketchbook, that's kind of what I'm focusing on, is kind of working these textures and these shadow shapes, letting them layer in a certain way. And even though it's not going to be the exact same from the sketchbook into like a larger piece of paper here, I can replicate that same technique. And so it kind of makes it fun too. It's like still like almost like a brand new drawing, if that makes sense. Even though if I'm trying to still replicate the composition, I guess I should say. So let me get started. Let me make sure some tech stuff is working. What's up, Dan? Good to see ya. Let's see. I think. Yeah, cool. It looks like I'm at least live on LinkedIn here. I'm also trying to what am I trying to say? Okay. I'm also trying to push my stream to Facebook and YouTube, so I might check periodically how that's going, but I don't know if your guys' comments from Facebook or YouTube will show up, to be honest. Like, barely know what I'm doing with LinkedIn. So, sorry if you're like, hey, I'm here and I'm not paying attention to you, because I'm not really sure what I'm doing, but baby steps. So, all right, actually. So, before I actually start working on this piece of paper, so this was my sketch that I'm working on. It's got really cool cat tails. And I really like it. Like, I don't know if you guys can see very well, yeah, because it gets all dark, but it's got really cool texture, and it's got this like almost creepy vibe to it. I was talking to my friend Heather the other day about it, and it kind of reminds me of what's that person's name? Is it Stephen Gamble? Stephen Gamble's work? I think that's his name. Who does scary stories to tell in the dark? Um, so it's kind of creepy and ghost-like, but also really pretty at the same time. So it's like, I love it. I'm gonna run with it. As long as the creativity doesn't dry up with it, I'm gonna keep making these drawings. So that's what I'm working with. And basically what I'm doing is I have, you know, these pictures that I take on my walks or something, like around a lake. And what's up, Andrea? It's good to see you. Oh, it's working on Facebook. This is lovely. I'm so happy I can see you. Um, how's it going? No, Tom. No, wait, what am I trying to say? It's been a long time, so feel free to hit me up, text me, message me. Um, so anyways, I've been like walking, you know, I take pictures on my walks, and they're kind of inspirational, like some of these so sometimes I'll like zoom in on some of my pictures to get like those close-ups of cattails or flowers, whatever it may be. Or and I'll kind of like, I don't know how to put it, like incorporates, have my artistic license and change up the composition a little bit to how I think it should be. So, for instance, with these cattails, like I had cattails in my picture, but some of them weren't bursted, like they weren't bursting. And you know how there's like that little fluffy stuff from the cattails? I really want to incorporate that into my drawing, but it wasn't into my picture. So that's why I did that kind of sketch and such. So I'm gonna work here in a minute. Choo 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 choo. Sweet. Okay. Okay, so my paper is like I believe it's 19 inches by 24 inches, and I actually want to make it a square, and I'm gonna make it 18 by 18. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I just have it clipped to my board with some potato chip bag clips, you know. They're pretty handy in the art worlds here. Um, so yeah, how do I want to do this? Because I'm intending to have like kind of a side to make some other marks if I wanted, but let me see here. What did I say? I'm gonna do 18 by 18, right? Yeah. And let me just make sure, like I always measure within my paper. Like I don't trust um okay, yeah, that is 24 inches. I don't trust like the measurements on paper pads sometimes. Like sometimes it can be really off. Like I had one that was like, oh, this is like 9 by 12 inches, and come to find out it's actually 9.5 by 12 inches. And you may not think like that's a big difference, but if you're trying to like frame everything um ahead of time, that's kind of it ends up being a pretty big difference. So if you just kind of trust what they tell you. So sorry, you're kind of just seeing my back here. Okay. How's life been treating you, Andrea? I'm excited to catch up. How's the kiddos? Okay. And I'm literally starting this bigger drawing. Like, I could have just had some of it already going, but you know, I don't know. I think people like to see how you start an actual piece. It kind of it kind of demystifies it too. It's like sometimes people don't want to see the beginning stages of an artwork, piece of art, because it takes that like whimsical, magical element away from it. But I like to show it because there's other aspiring artists, and I know when I was like first trying to figure out my way, like it was really helpful to see all this stuff, like to see how someone does their setup and starts a drawing or starts a painting. Super helpful. Okay, so I'm gonna measure twice, right? That's what you're supposed to do. 18 inches by 18 inches. We're good. We're golden. What's up, Muhammad? Thanks for joining. Okay. All right, so what I've been doing then is here, I can probably bring you guys a little bit closer. Maybe that's too close. Yeah. Hopefully I don't kick the camera, but hey, if it happens, it happens. Okay. Okay. So I like to tone my entire piece of paper with a piece of what am I trying to say here? Willow charcoal. Kind of looks like this, right? And this is like really dark gray, really dark slate gray. Okay. So I like to, yeah, just take this entire piece and tone it. And let me kind of talk a little bit about my paper really quick. So, in doing these experiments, I've noticed that, what am I trying to do here? I want something smoother in texture. And the reason being is because I'm using a kneaded eraser a lot, and it will help pick out these highlights. And what's up, Dan? Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. It's funny, like on Restream, you still come up as LinkedIn user, Dan. But on LinkedIn, like sometimes I'll like also look on LinkedIn just to like see what's going on. You come up as Dan. So but yeah. Anyways, what I was saying is like I like the smoothness of the paper because then you can use this kneaded eraser and pick things out, like pick out your highlights a little bit better. I found with like regular Strathmore sketch paper, not so much. Like the tooth or the grain of the paper holds the graphite way too much, and you can't get those nice crisp lines. So that's why I'm using Bristol paper. It's almost cardstock like. And I like it. And my other piece I've been spraying it with fixative and I haven't noticed really any darkening in areas that I don't want to be darkened. So that's really cool for me because when it comes time to frame these, and like if I ship them or if someone purchases them, then it's like I have a little bit more peace of mind knowing like I'm spraying this and it's gonna be fine. So, how you doing, Dan? Where you at? Are you at work or what's going on? Okay, so I need to use like a longer piece of willow charcoal because it's taking me forever and I'm impatient. Okay. So, and then what I've been doing, especially on a like a larger piece, is you're at home, you got the day off? Yes, celebrate. That's awesome. I love it. So what I've been doing is just getting a piece of paper towel because you can see like it's very not even tone the way I personally would like it. So I just get a piece of paper towel or like a Q-tip, um, and I rub this in. You see how it's like darkening the almost the canvas, the paper. It is a canvas, you know, like it's just paper. It's not like woven, but okay. And so I want this to be a tad bit darker. So I'm going to do another layer of willow charcoal. I keep kind of kicking the camera, the tripod, so I'm backing y'all up because I'm going to fall over it one of these days. Okay. If you hear a bunch of clattering, it's probably me falling and tripping over my own camera setup. Okay. And kind of since I went up and down last time, I'm going to try and go like horizontal. What you working on, Dan? Are you painting? My arms are getting sore. That's because I like worked them out last week and then I didn't stretch them. But man, painting tones your arms in case you didn't know. It's kind of like a win-win. Yeah. All right. Let me see. Because of my sketchbook, because it's smaller, I was able to use like a little Q-tip and blend. I like the softness of that better though than a paper towel. So I'm tempted to just, I mean, all it is a piece of cotton, right? I have cotton balls. Maybe I could do that. Let's see though. Yeah, give me one moment. I'm gonna go get a cotton ball. Oh, you're doing some painting this evening? Ooh, that's awesome. What you doing? You doing some oils? Some digital work? Oh, here they are. What's up, Heather? Cotton balls. I got them. Jinx. Jinx 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You owe me a Coke. You owe me a Coke now, Heather. That's how this works. Okay, let's try it. All right, okay. Yeah. I have like a thing about like too with the paper towel, if you're like me and have weird, I don't know what to call them, ticks or something. I don't like the feeling of paper towel on paper. It feels funny to me. But I'll put up with it for art. But if I don't have to, then yeah, the cotton feels way better to me. Send me a Coke. Great. That's great. Yes. Nice. Yeah, cotton. Whew. This is way better. I didn't put that in my materials list. So guess what, guys? I'm using a cotton now, a cotton ball. At least they'll go to use. Like I think I've had these cotton balls for like probably close to 7 years. Like I rarely use cotton balls for things. Okay. Let me see something. Yeah, we're okay. Heather, guess what? I'm streaming also on Facebook and YouTube. Aren't you proud of me? Oh, cool. You're doing some oils? That's awesome, Dan. How's the like glazing going? Makeup applicators. That's why. That's why. I'm not good with makeup. I'm just like some concealer, some blush, maybe some mascara, and call it a day. If I put on some eyeshadow, wow, that's fancy. That's fancy. Watch out. Watch out now. Okay. Let's see. Yes, multitasking for sure. All right. I still want. Do I? Do I want some darkness? More darkness? Yeah. Yeah. I do. A little bit more up here. I went to my local, like, can't think of it, my art store, and I was like looking for powdered graphite or powdered charcoal. And they didn't really have any. Now they have these like art graph circle thingies, and I was considering like picking them up and experimenting with them, but I was like, you know what? Whatever I'm doing now is like working for me, so why switch it up right now? It's going good. I got a set blue oils from a brand called. Oh, okay. Ooh, an ocean sky theme. Ooh, I love the blues. Ooh, I can't wait, Dan. I hope they're awesome. I hope I've heard of that brand before, actually. So let me know if you like them. You like those? Are those? Is that the brand that's supposed to be kind of like? What am I trying to say? Like odorless in a way? Maybe I'm thinking of Chelsea something. Okay, let me see if that's dark enough for me. One more coat. One more coat. For some reason, I must like press harder with the cotton over here, so it's like lighter on my right side. It's the film's right side too. Never mind. Like, wait a second, maybe it's mirrored. It's not. Ha ha ha. Groovy. Oh, okay, cool. So you found them on Jerry's. Jerry's is a good place for sure. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is in my reference photo and in my sketchbook. To be honest, usually now once I do like a study in my sketchbook, once I if I like it and I try and scale it up, most often now I just kind of look off the study rather than my like reference photos. Um, I don't know. That's what I'm just been discovering. So, okay, but what I was gonna say is like there's like these tree hillsides here in the distance. Trying to make sure that's where I want it. Yeah, that's good. Jackie, happy Monday. How's it going? What you doing on your Monday? Okay, cool. Cool. That's cool. I'm glad you're able to like watch and do things at the office, you know? That makes for a nice job. Okay. So, I'm going to take a blending stump. That's what it looks like. It's just rolled, a bunch of rolled paper. And I'm going to blend. And this happens to, other than the cotton, this happens to be blend darker than the cotton. Damn the man, yep. So see how I'm like blending that? I guess I could bring you guys in a little bit closer. And let me know if you guys can hear the maintenance people. They're like drilling. But I don't think you guys can. I think I did noise canceling all right in my mic, but we'll see. But you see how it's like blending darker? In fact, I want it to be like darker. Yeah, looking good. Looking good to me. And then I often like to leave my blending stump kind of dirty like this because it will add more like graphite or charcoal in certain places, and I'll use that to my advantage. Trying to see if that's a little bit even. Yeah. Okay. So here kind of comes the fun part. I'm going to be making some like wispy cloud shapes with my kneaded eraser. They're over, like over up here. No, now you could probably hear the hammering. So I'm just like kneading, like, pulling apart this eraser to warm it up. So erasing out some of these pieces. Mom, what's up? My mom can finally see me on Facebook Live. What's up, Mom? I'm glad you're not hearing the hammering. Oh, yay! All right, so kind of coming in here. And erasing some of this. So I kind of want it lighter over by this like hill tree side and kind of grade A up. I know, moms are the best. Isn't that great? Like, I didn't really know how to set up Facebook Live, to be honest, Jackie. And I was like, I don't know if my mom can see it or what's going on, but she found her way into the comments. It came into the restream, so hopefully it's all good. Hopefully it'll keep being great. Okay. And let's see here. I'm gonna kind of arrange it a little bit further up. Okay. And then, yeah, making like some more kind of cloudy shapes. Oh, you're finally home? Yeah, I didn't know if you got home yesterday. I tried calling yesterday because it was Easter, Mom. Here, we're just gonna have our conversation here live. No, I'm just joking. Don't do that, Mom. But Okay, cool. Yeah, working my magic. Glad you're able to watch. And like you see, I'm just kind of making like wispy suggestions of clouds. Like I'm not making a cotton ball cloud. I want it to be very flowy. You know how sometimes when you're looking near the horizon, right? Like during the day, you're watching the horizon, how the clouds kind of mesh and blend together near the horizon, and then they kind of get stacked and linear as they move closer to you. That's kind of what I'm going for here in a very subdued way. Kind of actually want this guy to be off my page a little bit more. Maybe some over here. There we go. Okay. So let's bring that back out. Okay. So I'm just trying to think. I'm going to take a step back. Yeah, I like how it's looking. So, yeah, so I'm kind of working this background a little bit more than rather than working the whole piece, because the way that I'm doing this is I'm layering, right? Like eventually I'm going to have these cattails up in here and it's going to be layering over the top. And I don't want to have to like carve out the sky or the background around these cattails. And I'm not getting super detailed back here because it's not the star of the show. The sky is not the star of the show for me. It's going to be these cattails, technically. And the reason why I'm also not getting too detailed is because the more detail you get, the more it's going to bring everything forward and it's going to clash with other things in the foreground that you want to be in the foreground. That's kind of the method to my madness here. This needs to be a little bit more even. And I want it to be darker. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Cool. I'm glad it makes sense. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, this doesn't seem like much now, but that's because I know I like I don't want it to be that much right now. Like I can't do that. I'm not the type that's gonna like do a drawing and like get everything perfect like one square and one corner at a time. No, like I do try and work everything together, but in a layered approach. Usually having to deal with my background, middle ground, and foreground, which tends to be my sky, my horizon line, my sky being my background, my horizon line being my middle ground, and my foreground being like grasses and shrubberies and stuff like that. So, with that being said, I think I'm about ready to add some of these scratchy things. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to take 1 second. Chico. Good boy. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take my Willow Charcoal. Maybe I should go kind of further close so you guys can kind of see. Just don't want to kick it. Okay. And I'm going to, sorry, I'm kind of like in the scene. Okay. So I'm going to come in here and make these kind of scratchy marks here near the bottom. Okay. And let me see. That's it. I want it actually. Well, it's raining. That's what that sound is. I was like, what? I have this thing about like my kitty. She likes to excessively lick, and Jacob, my dog, is like, yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna do that too. But it wasn't even them, so it was just the sound of the rain. Okay. So even now, like, I mean, I'm gonna get way more detailed and everything. Oh, you do? Cool. Cool. You in Arizona, Jackie? Is that where you're at? Okay. But even now, like I'm gonna get more detail, but you can kind of see it kind of looks like grasses, right? Well, it's kind of gloomy in Phoenix last couple days. Yeah, it's kind of been off and on, like with, let me see. Like right now, it's pretty gloomy. It's been kind of misty and foggy here in Colorado, but like the sun comes out every once in a while, you know? So now I'm kind of blending with my blending stump. Yeah. Groovy. It's looking nice. What time is it? Okay, good. Like, I'm always afraid I'm gonna get to doing art stuff and then like be like, oh, I'm late to work or something, which wouldn't happen. Like, I don't go until like 4 p.m. my time, but still, it's still like a scary thought of mine. But yeah, okay. Need it a little bit darker over here. Now my arm is tired. That's what happens. All right, gonna take a step back, see if I like kind of where everything's going. This edge right here needs to be softened. There we go. All these edges need to be softened. Okay. Okay. Well, then let's see here. I am going to bring you guys closer. Maybe like that. Yeah. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm taking a piece of Willow Charcoal and just making sporadic marks. I'm trying not to like get too far into my head of like where they should go and be exact when they place them, because I want it to look wild and raw and cool in that way. So you know, get that the squiggly doos here. So even like with just what I did there, can you see that like I'm layering? Like that's why I did all of this background first, and then boom, once I put those lines on here, how it layers over and overlaps this horizon line. That's what I want. Okay, and then now I'm gonna come in here and make kind of crisscross squiggly do marks. This is like down in the grasses, you know, pressing a little bit harder. Kind of overlap there. All right, now this is kind of like my fun part here. I gotta sneeze 1 second. Phew! Sorry guys, excuse me. Okay, so I really like, so I'm gonna make the fun part is making these cattails. And so I'm taking the side of a longer piece of willow charcoal, right? And I'm gonna have one kind of like fallen, you know, like, and I'm gonna press pretty hard. Doesn't that look like a cattail? Thanks, Mom. And then maybe like one here. Have another one here. Oh, I'm glad it looks like one. I'm glad my mom agrees. That's all. That's what counts. Mom has to agree. You know? All right, let me see if those are big enough for my cattails. Yeah. Yeah. All right, and then I'm gonna have one overlapping up here. And then I'm also gonna have one kind of up here. Going off the page even. All right, let me take a step back. Groovy. I like that. And there still needs to be more like grass coming up, more overlapping. Needs to be broken up. And cattails usually have this like horn. It's like a unicorn horn coming out of them. Nice. Okay. So I'm going to take a step back. You guys are going to take a step back. That's what it looks like right now. So I like that so far. I think there needs to be like a little hint of maybe a cattail here or something. Aw, yay, I'm glad you love it, Mom. It's cool. It's really cool. Okay. So here's like one of my favorite parts because you know how the cattails burst gets all that like fuzzy stuff. I wanted to incorporate that in my cool piece here. So I'm going to be doing that. Not everywhere, but where it counts. So I'm going to bring you guys then in closer. So this guy right here. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take my kneaded eraser and I'm going to start making it look like it's bursting. Then maybe like right here. Some of them kind of just really burst open. So I'm going to be doing that as well. To where like it just looks like a cotton fluff. This one over here too. Just not completely on that guy, but just some parts like it got scraped. And then we're going to be adding some more detail and weird layered depths, like a depth, I guess I should say. With this kneaded eraser. So I'm just coming in here making some marks. And like the side of your kneaded eraser gets dark, right? So I just kind of keep making an edge that's clean. And you want things to like overlap. All right. Needs more like. Okay. So then usually what I've been doing, all right, is now I go in here with my pencil. Okay. This is a soft graphite pencil. And I pick out shadow shapes. Now this is going to take me a long time. I'm not probably going to do it so much here on, oh, hey, thanks, Dan. I'm glad it's like nice. Um, I mean, I could probably do it on here a little bit, like maybe in another live or whatever, but it takes me a really long time because what I come in, I like it. It's meditative for me, okay? But I come in here and I pick out shadow shapes like here and I darken it wherever I want. Like, do you see all the texture in here? Maybe you can't so much, but I pull out the texture that I want. Yeah, I like the curves and the growth too. So I do this like all over, and especially like with something like here, where there's like a highlight, I'll pay attention to that. I'll pay attention to edges. And pick those out, right? And then not only do I do that with graphite, but because I want my cattails to pop even more forward, I get in here with a black soft charcoal pencil and I do the same thing. And if I want those edges to be softer, then I come in here with my blending stump. And I blend it. So I do that all over, especially in, where do we go here? There we go, that works. Especially in this growth area. Let me bring you guys even further out. And it takes me a while, but I love it. Like I love, like you gotta love it, you know? That's the whole point of painting and drawing is like you gotta love what you do, you know? So that's what I do. But eventually you get these like really cool. So this is my sketch, right? This is my study. You get these really cool textures throughout your entire piece. You guys can't see it too well. I'll have to take a picture. I'll have to take a picture because it's like it's not doing it justice. The camera's like, no, you can't see those textures. I don't think, anyways. Maybe I'll look back at this, be like, yeah, actually, no, you guys could see the textures. So, but I really like, yeah, Jackie agrees. You gotta enjoy what you do, but I really like that. And then by kind of coming in here, what I do with this? Okay. One, it's a meditative thing for me coming in here, picking out shadow shapes. What's up, Jamie? I'm glad it looks good. I'm nearing the end because I told myself I was only going to go until like 1:30 my time. But so it's like super meditative, and then you get this kind of, I think I'll just have to show you in one of the lives or something like that. But you get to pick out the shadow shapes that you want and blend them in with the highlights and the midtones. And that's how I'm able to get this kind of ghostly appearance of some of my work. And it kind of attributes to the mood of it, right? It kind of is creepy and pretty, kind of like this weird, creepy, romantic landscape, in my opinion. And I really like it. Like, I've been digging it. Like, even though it's like, whoa, it's different, but I've been enjoying it. So it takes me a long time to do. But that's just probably, if I can, I'll show you like a portion of it or something like that. But it's just nice to sit down and get in there and pick out like all these little things. And when you're doing that, then you start recognizing shadow shapes and highlights. And this is when you start seeing in like abstract work you start seeing things, like you start attributing the shadow shapes to other things, like visually, like you'll be like, this shadow shape looks like a face, or this shadow shape looks like a unicorn, or this shadow shape looks like a heart. It's kind of cool in that way, like, and so I'll just kind of pick it out. So sometimes it's like my cattails look like they have faces in them, or my clouds look like they have faces in them, and it's pretty interesting. I really like it. So um as I keep working on it. But anyways, so thanks y'all for watching. Probably gonna jump off here and get ready for work and do all those kinds of things. Oh my gosh, it's like snowing slash raining where I'm at. There we go. So yeah, if I can, I'll jump on another live and kind of show you still how I'm working with this. And I'll post a picture kind of the textures that I'm talking about. And it was great seeing everybody. Thanks, Heather. Thanks, Dan, my mom, Jackie, Jamie, Andrea, all of y'all who joined in. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I will catch y'all next time. Take care.